In a state that typically goes red, Alabama voters find themselves deciding one of the most competitive elections in the state's history. And one voting bloc is possibly up for grabs: the African American vote.
Vote Doug Jones!
Jeffrey Ray Jones has worked on Roy Moore's campaigns before. He says it's the former judge's actions, like getting kicked off the bench for putting the 10 Commandments at a courthouse, that should attract his community's vote.
Turn down that opportunity, the power he had, in that position, to turn down the money and all, but to stand on his principles. I'm going to support him.
African Americans make up roughly a quarter of the voting population in Alabama, meaning they could have a real impact on this race. The former Democrat says he's been disappointed with the way the party relates to those in his community, and that's one of the reasons he's now a Republican.
For the number of years that the blacks have so wholeheartedly, since you want to talk about blacks, supported the Democratic Party, I haven't seen any changes in the community. I've actually seen a degradation in the community, going into the black community and going in, and I need this many black people to vote. It's time out for that.
Evan Milligan says on that point, he agrees.
When there's the day of the election or the day before the election, folks show up with a lot of get out the vote money, and then we may not see them again until another pivotal election, and then we're framed as the people who can save the election. So I think I get the frustration and the resentment that people have for that.
Still, he is voting for Doug Jones. Would you have considered ever voting Republicans?
Oh, no, absolutely not.
Why is that?
I don't see this Republican Party in this state putting someone in the Senate who is going to stand up to President Trump.
Milligan says he wants his next senator focused on women's rights, policing, and mass incarceration, and he believes Republicans just aren't prioritizing those issues.
I don't see them fielding that type of candidate. It's difficult enough to get that sort of candidate through the Democratic Party.
William Boyd says he's also voting for Doug Jones as a check on the Trump administration to make sure those in his state are taken care of.
Alabama, in my opinion, is somewhat a racist state, and normally the Republicans, who, in my opinion, sometimes they vote down racial lines. It's the have and the have-not. I think the Democrat pretty much for the poor and the needy.
Boyd says he expects the voter turnout in his community to be a bit higher in light of who the Republican candidate is, and he hopes that will make an impact on the race.